So this lady here, she is the Canada's Minister of Sport,
Oh.
Huh? I'm
Take
sure.
Off.
Take off. Well, anyway, they're using admission into the Olympics as a weapon. They're not. They put forward a thing to not let the Russian athletes compete.
Wouldn't you normally boycott it because Russians are going to be there? Now we're switching it to
Yes. Now they're switching it. You don't want them to be there. They can't be there.
Right.
So that Belarus and Russian athletes they want to ban them, and because of Putin's invasion of Ukraine, right? And that's so horrible. You can't do that. You can't invade another country unprovoked. I mean, of course, we do it all the time. And right now, we're occupying a third of Syria.
When did America not go at a protest? Was that when Russia went to Afghanistan or something? Do you remember that?
No.
There's Olympics we didn't go to.
Oh, yeah. It was the Afghanistan thing. You're right. Carter said we wouldn't go to the 80 Olympics.
Right. So
fucking idiot. Over Afghanistan. And then we fucking occupied for 20 years later.
You know, Jesse Owens beating the German guy in Berlin was kind of a big historical moment.
Yeah.
They didn't say you can't come, Hitler, even though he
That's
sucked.
right. That's the whole point of the Olympics is you don't bring politics into it. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
It's to show that we could be cooperating. And so you're not supposed to do that kind of shit.
Well,
That's the
old saying,
opposite.
the personal is the endless political campaign.
So anyway, this lady gets confronted about this hypocrisy, right? Though, so this lady is the Canadian Minister of Sport, and she's asked a direct question. And watch this,
Madame St-Onge. I have a question for you. You've said you don't want Belarusian and Russian athletes at the Olympics. Sorry, I'm just asking a question of the minister. She's the Minister of Sport. I'm asking. She doesn't want Russian or Belarusian athletes to participate in international Olympics or sporting events. But did you feel the same way after the U.S. invaded Iraq?
Okay,
20 ran into. How about Afghanistan? How about Canadian troops after we bombed? How about Canadian athletes after we bombed Libya or Afghanistan? Excuse me. Why won't you answer the question? It's a really simple question. Minister St-Onge, it's a really simple question. Why? How about Israeli athletes? Israel has a 50-year occupation, 50-year occupation of Palestinian lands, an apartheid state. How about banning Israeli athletes?
On a eu une discussion. Si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas. Vous avez mon numéro de téléphone.
Why can't you answer the question?
Non, si vous avez des questions,
no, excuse me.
si vous avez des questions.
Why can't you answer the question?
Si vous avez des
Why won't you answer the question? Why won't you call for banning Israel?
Oh, why didn't you keep sticking your fucking foot in the door? Why did you ever stop doing that? That's my bigger question. So
the Minister of Sport, so Canadian.
Yeah. It's like
the Minister of Sport, eh?
It's like, hey, why did you feel that way when the United States invaded Iraq? Of course not. Did you feel that way when the United States bombed the shit out of Libya? Of course not. You feel that way right now when the United States is occupying a third of Syria, the oil part? Of course not.
But how would they even be able to say you can't come to the Olympics because, like, Jimmy Carter's like, hey, we're not going to go and protest.
Yeah, but they're trying to say you can't come.
But I thought everybody controls.
Well, they banned Djokovic over the vax, so that let people know they can ban people.
Oh yeah. Well, also all the Twitter thing where you say anything and they go, I'm being harassed. That's how they built this thing up. Where now the young leaders are like, oh, I'm being Twitter harassed right now.
Yes, I love
answering questions.
So here it is. This is what the IOC should consider banning Russia from Paris in 2024 Olympics. 34 countries say that. The governments of 34 countries, including host nation France, oh, that great liberal bastion, called on the International Olympic Committee to exclude Russia and Belarus from the Paris 2024 Olympics, unless game chiefs unveil a clear, workable plan for athletes to compete as neutrals.
What? I thought the Olympics were that.
That's the whole point of Olympics. You're supposed to put down, it shows how human beings can be human to each other, and that's supposed to spark us to not war. So you don't just add more war to it, and that's what they're doing.
What do they mean workable? I guess what they're saying is that's unworkable. workable. You know what I mean? Because look at that.
Yeah.
It's not
a workable plan. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The IOC has said it would explore a pathway for Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete in Paris under neutral flags, a move that triggered outrage in Kiev and has now been met with a concrete response among Ukraine's allies. Representatives of German, British, and American governments are signatories to the letter, but it is France's inclusion that will cause the IOC its biggest headache, with Paris set to host the Olympics for the first time since 1924. Other signatories include Austria, Belgium, Canada, Croatia, Cyprus, you see them all. New Zealand, of course, it's a weeping. Norway, have some fish. Poland, I used to live across the street from a Polish guy, and then he moved his house across the street. You ever heard that? People move their houses. You know why he did it? To get the slack out of his clothesline. Swear to God, true story. I knew another Polish guy. He was depressed all the time. He kept trying to commit suicide, but unsuccessfully. He kept jumping out of his basement window. Now, that's funny.
It's a true story.
These are Polish jokes.
That's funny for several reasons, because it's dumb to jump out your basement window to kill yourself, but also because in my neighborhood in Chicago, Polish people used to live in their basements. They would have kitchens and stuff, and we lived in our basement. Truth be told, I'm Polish. I'm my grandmother on my father's side was Polish. I'm a quarter Polish. So I think that's why I can tell those Polish jokes, huh? What?
I think you can just tell them because they're white, to be honest.
Yeah,
but they tell Russian jokes. I'm sure
they say the Nazis invaded Polish jokes. Did you know that? That's true. It was like a war propaganda.
Oh, I think you said invaded them.
Oh no, invented Polish
yeah,
jokes.
he did say invade.
Did I?
I was like, they invaded their jokes. My God,
why wouldn't they? These are great questions. Even without a minister's answers, reflect the perfidy. Perfidy. Holy shit! Hey Siri, what does perfidy mean?
It means deceitfulness, untrustworthiness.
Oh, okay. Deceitfulness. Okay.
That was dessert, like when I get perfidy rolls.
Me too.
I love this.
Like,
these are great questions. Even without the minister's answers, reflect the perfidy, the impurity, the double standards, and the hypocrisy of leadership of nations in the West.
well, what it is cancel. This is how we've been building up. What cancel culture is sanctions.
Yeah.
On a very personal level. And there's nothing they love more, neoliberals, than sanctions. Which, by the way, is terrorism.
That's right. Economic terrorism.
That's why everybody lives in terror of being canceled. Except Russia, I guess.
Except Russia's now being much stronger now. Did you know this? So that's a tweet from Kenya. So how do you think other people in the world see that? You think they see United States, what we're doing, that we have 1,000 military bases around the world? We invaded all these countries in the last 20 years, wrecked them, stole their shit. And now you don't think that people around of course they do. And they said that's what Trump was going to do, make other people see they won't respect us anymore. And now they respect us again because we're back to invading countries.
Oh, they hear our great president speak and then the respect just comes in waves.
This is the Kiev Independent, says The Guardian, UK's culture secretary asked the UK chief executives of the sponsors of the International Olympic Committee worldwide, including Coca-Cola, Intel, Samsung, and Visa, to press the committee to keep the ban on athletes from Russia and Belarus.
Oh, you're so canceled. Athletes from Russia. It's like the corporate sanctions.
That's right. When you want results, you go where the money is, Kurt. Yeah. And everything runs on money, baby. Everything runs on money. Go to jimmydore.com to see my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny. For only $10, you get to become a premium member, too. And come see us do our live shows. We're going to be doing stand-up comedy in Milwaukee, Nashville, Honolulu, Los Angeles, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, New York, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Baltimore, Maryland, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.